What is going on, my broskies? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And right as I just got done making the video talking about the tease for Saint Garcia Saturn, they had dropped a data download here on Treasure Cruise Global. Now, unfortunately, we're going to have to wait quite a bit longer before we actually get Saturn in-game, because what they're doing is we are going to be having a brand new Sugo-Fest for the Kizuna Clash that's going to be dropping here very shortly. Now, this Sugo-Fest, you'll see here in just a moment once I get to it, this banner right here. It's a new Kizuna and support combination Sugo-Fest, and with this one right here, we have a new Jinbe, we have a new Robin, and we have S-Snake. These new characters are going to be debuting for this event, and this is going to be happening on... Wait, when does it start? May 23rd is when this Sugo-Fest is starting, so... Wait, what? That's tomorrow. They haven't even revealed the wait, May 24th. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Either way, in the next couple of days, this banner will show up in game. What I would advise, if you're a new player and you don't know what's going on, just don't pull on this Sugo-Fest. I'm telling you, just do not pull on this Sugo-Fest. So this is a banner that is going to feature Kizuna characters, and we know that Saint Garcia Saturn is going to be dropping. We know part 2 of the celebration is going to be massive, so do not pull on this Sugo-Fest, as enticing as it may be. But we are going to break it down for you guys, just so you know the information, you know what to expect heading into this one. So I guess we'll start with the Nico Robin side of things. So let's go into breaking down what these characters do. Let's start with the support rare recruit. So this S-Snake is featured on both parts of this Sugo-Fest, and this S-Snake is actually quite good. This is a very good support rare recruit. So these support rare recruits, for those who don't know, it's a 1-cost character. You can see in the middle right of the screen there, cost number 1. And these rare recruit characters, they don't really do much in terms of their generic abilities. They just kind of just sit there, they don't really do anything. The main power is drawn from their support effect, which attaches to all of these units here. You've got Luffy, Rob Lucci, Sentomaru, Kizaru, and then all of the Vegapunks as well as S-Bear. And it says that when the supported character is the captain, it reduces defense up by 1 turn, changes the character's block, super block slot into tandem, which is crazy good that it can get around super block, and it will also boost slasher and shooter characters' advantageous class effect by 1.2 times for 1 turn. This is a very good support effect for Super Boss Kizuna. Super Boss Kizuna will probably have advantageous class effect. Defense up removal from a support is obviously very good, and being able to get around super block also very good. And the fact that it attaches to so many units, another reason why this character is quite good. So this is a very powerful unit. Of course, it's going to be only available on these support Sugo-Fest, or these Kizuna Clash and support Sugo-Fest is where this character is going to be featured. Let's move on to these rare recruits. So we have Nico Robin here first. Now, I think out of the 2 rare recruits, Nico Robin is the character that I would consider to be the better of the 2, mainly because of the rumble abilities, so we'll get into that in just a moment. But Nico Robin, in terms of what she does, her captain ability doesn't really do too much. If you've got a territory cerebral clause, it gives you paralysis removal in the captain, I suppose. If you do use her in the upcoming Kizuna Clash, she actually does have a buff. So this character here will have a very specific captain ability that only activates when you're in this Kizuna Clash. So basically, if you pull her for this event, she's technically stronger. And you can see that the captain ability is much stronger, 5.75 times captain. You get the more utility there. And then it says, if crew uses a special to reduce or remove enemy's rainbow shield, you remove it by a further 1 turn. Okay, pretty interesting there. The special ability of Nico Robin, which does not change. If you get this character here, this special does not change no matter where you use it. It gives you a full board of tandem slots through block, which is quite good. Removes 6 turns of despair. Reduce barriers by 2 turns, also very good. And then boosts side, dex, and cerebral character slot effects by 2.5 times for 1 turn. If this character is the captain, it will apply a territory cerebral class to the field. And then if this character is a crewmate, it will further increase your attack boosts by 0.25. Okay. Fair enough, right? It doesn't do a whole lot. It's a pretty decent effect overall. It's just that the territory effect is just something that you're not really going to see outside of this character's event period, right? Basically is the way that it is. This character, in terms of crewmate abilities, let's have a look. If you have a cerebral territory or a psi-type territory, which is key, because remember, Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji, their special ability does apply a psi-type territory. If you have one active, her crewmate ability will trigger, which will permanently remove 1 turn of attack down anytime you're inflicted with it. Very cool effect to get access to that. and then also makes tandem matching for cerebral units. And then you can see her tags there, of course. So there you go. There's Nico Robin. Unfortunately, support effect is pretty redundant and doesn't really do all that much. And then she does have fear reduction, which is quite cool. So her crewmate abilities are likely going to be active a lot of the time. And then her rumble stuff, which is the stuff that I wanted to get into because her rumble seems very, very good. So her rumble ability gives a speed increase, which is whatever. And then if 4 or more Straw Hats are on the team, all enemies attack down level 5, defense down level 5, miss percent up level 5. Very good looking crewmate ability there for rumble ability, should I say. Very good rumble ability. And then this special, 27 CT. Targets 2 high attack enemies for level 7 attack down. If 4 or more Straw Hats are on the team, target 2 high defense enemies for defense down level 5. And then targets 2 enemies with high special CT for a 20% delay. So the fact that we now have the 3-sword style Nami that just came out in part 1 of the anniversary, we now have this Robin that you can partner alongside of it, another Straw Hat unit, and we now have this ability where you can have Nami and Robin both delaying enemy CT whilst also having Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji go absolutely crazy with damage. That's concerning. I'm very, very scared to go up against a side team with Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, Nami, and this Robin. It's going to be disgusting. So, yeah, look forward to taking on teams with that. That's going to be really, really gross. So yeah, Nico Robin, pretty decent unit overall, I would say. Let's have a look at Jinbe now. So Olmei Jimbo, very, very similar to Robin in terms of the way that he's structured. If you use him during this event period, he has a buffed captain ability, pretty self-explanatory. The special ability though, it reduces attack down by 6 turns. It will reduce Rainbow Shield by 6 turns, and will give you an attack boost for Dex Size Cerebral 2.5 for 1 turn. If he's the captain, you apply a Cerebral Territory. And then if he's a crewmate, you buff your orb boost by 0.25. Essentially a mirror to Robin in a lot of cases. And then crewmate ability, if you have a Psi or a Cerebral Territory, you get paralysis removal. And the other one cannot be blown away. It's nice that he has that. No useful real support. And then again, he's a character that you can use in Rumble. So his Rumble ability, again, team level 5. If you got 4 or more Straw Hats, then your Straw Hat characters get 6 health, 6 attack, and level 5 blowaway. Again, pretty okay. The blowaway is kind of whatever, but the HP, attack, and defense, he just provides those 3 key stats. Pretty good. You love to see it. And his special ability will target 1 enemy for 3.3 times damage. And then if you have 4 or more Straw Hats, then he targets 1 enemy with high HP for a 50% health cut, and then targets 1 enemy with low HP for a 3500 fixed damage hit. I do like the fact that he targets low HP enemy for the 3500, so he's got a much higher chance of actually securing a knockout when you launch that special. Another cool thing, 26 CT for this special is quite good. If this guy gets to like level 120, level 130, level 150, this guy's going to be outputting a pretty serious amount of damage at 3.3 multiplier. Honestly, pretty cool. So there you go. That's the breakdown here of Jimbo, Robin, and S-Snake. However, that is not all. There is even more to discuss here with the brand new super evolution of Zorojuro. So this guy has been out for quite a long time. He was a super type character that debuted alongside Quick Kaido. When this guy first dropped, he was a very powerful unit. A lot of people love this guy. So it's kind of interesting to see what kind of buffs he's going to receive, not only with a 6+, but he is going to receive a level limit break as well. So just a little bit of a rehash, the way that he kind of worked is that he would be a special bind removing captain. He removes 10 turns of it, which is quite good. The multipliers obviously need a bit of a buff, but basically once you have taken a certain amount of damage in the middle of content, his captain ability upgrades and gives you more damage. So once you take 20,000 or more damage during the quest, you get higher multiplier, and reduces all enemies' health by 20% every time you enter a new stage. So that's a really cool ability that he gets access to. Now, his super type ability, if I could remember to click on it properly, his super type ability would give you a little bit of damage, would give you 2 times color affinity to Dex, and then become super Dex, which is kind of cool. And then the special ability would give the 2 turns of cooldown, which is cool. I believe in his crewmate ability, he resists special reverse, which allows you to get the cooldown reduction for your characters. He allows his own normal attacks to bypass defensive effects, which means that, you know, if the enemy has a barrier, a rainbow shield, or whatever, his own normal attacks just bypasses all of that. You just don't even have to worry. So against a quick enemy, like, this effect is quite good. It will also deal 100 times his attack in typeless damage to all enemies, and then also give you an orb boost based on the amount of damage you've received. So whenever you launch it, it's a 2.5 orb boost, but when you take 20,000 or more damage, the 2.5 gets buffed to 2.75. Nothing really too crazy, right? Like, pretty straightforward in terms of what he does. He was a really cool captain just for, like, not really speed farming in a way, but you could use him in treasure maps because he had a great captain at resisting special bind, and then he had a super type that was easily activatable that allow you to wave clear the first 2 stages to get through content very, very quickly. And then, of course, if the enemy has defensive effects, you don't have to worry about that either because his special allows his own normal attacks to bypass those defensive effects. So now let's actually talk about his super evolution. First of which, let's have a look at this artwork. There you go. This artwork looks really, really cool. Big fan of the artwork, but what I will say is I am definitely much more of a fan of the 6-star form. I just think the 6-star artwork just looks way cooler. We'll have to see what the special animation looks like because the 6-star special animation is literally one of the coolest animations that they put in this game. So they've got a lot to live up to in terms of his 6+. Hopefully it looks good. Anyways, let's actually talk about what he does as a character. So the abilities that we're going to see today are when you have his abilities completely maxed out at level 150, okay? So first of which, he is still slasher driven. He gives -1 turn of cooldown, Dex, slasher, and driven now. 5 times boost. All other characters 4.5, 1.5 times HP. So instead of just being mono Dex now, giving the big boost, he gives big boost to Dex, slasher, and driven. He also will reduce special bind by 10 turns, which is unchanged. If you've taken 20,000 or more damage, then you get a 5.25 times captain instead, and the 20% health cut at the start of each stage. But then if you've taken 50,000 or more damage, you get a 5.5 times captain and 15% damage reduction. Interesting. I was hoping for a little bit more, maybe another piece of utility. More cooldown I think would have been nice too. But I guess it's fine. I mean, there's going to be use cases for a captain ability like this, which I don't think is that much of a concern. So, of course, his super type, it looks to be relatively unchanged. The one thing that I noticed straight away is that the color affinity, obviously, is now for Dex, Slasher, and Driven now, instead of just Dex. And it's going up from 2 times to 2.5 times. The rest of it looks more or less the same abilities. And the activation requirement, I believe, is also the same, which is a good thing. Because sometimes they like to be a little bit shifty in regards to that. So the special ability, obviously there's a lot to break down here. Let's have a look. First of which, 2 turns of cooldown. Allows normal attacks to bypass defensive effects. 150 times his attack and non-type damage to all enemies. Ignoring all the normal stuff. So it's more damage with his special. But then if you've got 2 or more Land of Wano characters on the crew, and the crew has an orb boost when you launch the special, then you get a 30% slasher and driven resistance down for 1 turn. And then after that, you get a 3.25 times orb boost for Dex, slasher, and driven for 1 turn. Okay, so when you launch the special, you get the orb boost. If you already have an orb boost, you get the resistance down, so long as you have the Land of Wano characters on your crew. This character obviously counts as 1, so you just need essentially 1 other character. It then also says that if the total damage that you've taken before launching the special is 50,000 or more, it will apply increased damage taken status 2x for 1 turn, ignoring immunity to status effects. Okay, that's a pretty cool ability. So getting the 2 times increased damage taken is a nice addition for sure. Just straight up just more damage is never a bad thing. I just feel like getting that 50,000 threshold I think is going to be difficult. Now, I'm not 100% sure how it works, but I know that there are support effects you can use that just straight up cut your HP by a significant amount. Like, there's like the Summer Chopper Rare Recruit, it's like a 70% health cut when you reach the final stage. I do wonder if that would actually count towards this kind of ability, because if it does, being able to just reach the final stage, then launch the special, and then have that support to cut your health, to then get the free 2 times increased damage taken, is actually going to be kind of massive. And I do think that with this buff, he's going to see playing like other treasure maps as like a mini map kind of captain to use. So that seems pretty good overall. One thing that is concerning, I'm just noticing now, you see down the bottom, it says his special is 20 turn cooldown. I hope that is a mistake, because there's no way this is a 20 turn cooldown. If his special ability is 20 turns, then we have a problem. We have a massive problem. So my one here is at 14. There's no way it goes up by 6. That has to be a mistake. I'm convinced that's a mistake. That can't be right. That'd be crazy. He does also have a rumble stuff, so we'll talk about that in just a sec. I want to see if his support has changed. Support effect is the exact same, which is a good support effect. So rumble ability. He gives himself level 3 special CT increase, and then also a level 7 attack increase, but then Dex allies will also get level 7 attack, level 5 speed, level 5 defense. So remember, Zoro gets all of these at once. So he's going to have 3 CT, he's going to have 14 attack, 5 speed, 5 defense. Man, he's providing a lot of good buffs there. Quite good. And then in his special... actually, wait, hang on a second. Gotta look at the right one. Was I looking at the wrong one? Okay. That's that. And then we gotta look at his abilities here, right? So let's go... The best way to do it here is going to be reading this. Let's read this. So I think this is the same. Yeah, okay. Special ability. Right here. Okay. Let's see what this is. So targets enemies in a large range, frontal damage, which is like in a vertical line in front of you. So it's not a wide range, it's not a horizontal range, and it's not a large range, it's just frontal, so just front range. 1.5 times damage, and then when there's 50 seconds or less remaining, then it's a 2.2 times damage, and then when there's 30 seconds or less remaining, 2.5 times damage, and a 50% chance of action bind for 5 seconds. Pretty mediocre. 5 seconds is not that important. I guess in the final 30 seconds, being able to just potentially action bind something for 5 seconds is typically all you need, because when a character is action binded, they go to the bottom of the order, meaning your characters can go up the top, overlap them, and then launch their specials. Especially when you're in the last 30 seconds, you want to make sure your specials are launching, and in the final 30 seconds, this guy's going to be kind of like your sweeper, right? He comes in late game and then just does a ton of damage. He doesn't do damage through defense, which is the issue, because characters are so tanky these days. I don't know if this special ability is really going to be worth it, especially because the Dex team is already incredibly hard to squeeze into with how many good characters that they have. However, what I will say is that this is going to be a great character that, you know, if you're just joining the game and you're trying to build your Dex team up, having a character such as this is going to be a helpful cause to you. You know, if you don't have a lot of these other high-level Dex units, having a character such as this will probably help you out significantly. So I think with all of that, that's pretty much it. That's the super evolution of Roronoa, or Zorojuro, of course, the 6+ that's coming up this month. So that is pretty much going to wrap it up for me. We got a lot of stuff, obviously, and the big thing, of course, is on Sunday, we're going to have the official reveal on social media for Saint Garcia Saturn in One Piece Treasure Cruise. That's the thing we're all looking forward to right now. That is going to wrap it up for me, though. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.